What's your craziest NSFW story that happened at work? Story 1. I went on a Tinder date. She worked at a Hampton Inn and had a few hours left to go, so we met up and chatted a bit. She had to help some customers and left me in the back office. There was a photocopier, and I thought it would be funny to photocopy my bare butt. So I went ahead, dropped my pants, and hopped up on the thing. The glass broke into 1,000,000 pieces, and the light one started to copy. I jumped off, brushed the glass off my butt, closed the copier, and pretended that it didn't just happen. Her boss found the photocopies of my hairy butt in the copier tray the next day. Story 2. Didn't happen to me, but a coworker brought her dog to work, and it immediately raced towards the new intern guy who no one really knew that well yet, and started jumping all over him and trying to get him to pick him up. The guy joked about having bacon in his pocket, but we all suspected that our coworker was hooking up with the intern. We were right. Story 3. The first company that I worked for used to have these junior orientation parties that would take place in one of the company's offices all over the world. They then permanently canceled them when they found out that a director had sex with different junior employees at every single party. Story 4. A dude in the area killed his wife, brought her to my company's parking garage, and set her on fire. I noticed something was up when someone ran out with a fire extinguisher, then the fire department came, then the police. It wasn't hard to catch the guy, of course, but it so happened that my coworker was taking a nap in his car, in the parking garage, right next to where the aforementioned post-mortem spousal desecration occurred. A slightly longer story, slightly shorter. We didn't see him for a few hours. Obviously, kinda got worried given the situation, only to find out that he'd been woken up and informed he was momentarily a person of interest in a first-degree murder. Story 5. The HR manager at one place I worked got fired for being caught masturbating in her office. But that's not even the part that's crazy. The crazy part was that she had a camera installed in the men's restroom and was watching their backs while they used the urinals. Story 6. 2 people were escorted out because they were caught having sex in one of the stalls. I worked at a very large factory, roughly 15,000 to 20,000 people per shift. A section supervisor went into the bathroom to pee and heard the woman getting her cheeks clapped. She then tried to say she was helping him tie his shoes. They were both banned for life and not allowed to work for any of the company's suppliers. Then there was the guy that got decapitated, but production ran as normal. They just put caution tape around where he was killed and waited for paramedics to move him. Story 7. I work in a manufacturing factory that uses a lot of robots to assemble pieces together. The machinery has all sorts of cages, barriers, and safety lockouts to prevent people from injuring themselves. One day, a box had gotten stuck inside the machine and wouldn't come out. So, a worker disabled every safety mechanism and started crawling through a narrow path in the equipment, similar to the size of a ventilation shaft in a Die Hard movie, so that he could clear the box from being jammed. He was fired on the spot. Story 8. My story should be pretty tame, comparatively. I was walking up a stairwell and looked up to make sure I didn't bump into the lady just ahead of me on the stairs, when I noticed that she wasn't wearing any underwear. I quickly looked away and just waited for her to be completely out of view. Yep, she wears short skirts and no undies. Wasn't even trying to look, and I definitely wasn't expecting what I saw. I can't look at her the same way, and haven't seen her in years, thankfully. I felt embarrassed for her, but whatever, it's her choice, I guess. Story 9. The police came to inspect all the gas pipes in our labs, looking at the ease of accessibility and recent output. Turns out that the doctor who had been getting a lot of sympathy after his wife and daughter died in a car that was filled with carbon monoxide had in fact filled 2 giant exercise balls with the gas, created a slow leak in them, and put them in the car as she drove. Also, someone once disposed of chemicals in the wrong container, and there was a significant explosion in the waste room. Luckily, no one was in there, and no one got hurt. Story 10. A guy I worked with was at an old lady's house to do some electrical work, and he had to move a bookshelf. When he moved it, a bag fell and landed on his foot, breaking one of his toes. When he looked into the bag, he saw it was full of gigantic dildos. When he reported the incident to the company, he wrote, "A literal bag of dicks crushed my foot." Turns out, those incident reports go all the way to the CEO of the company, and when he was visiting our office, he asked where he could find the fellow with the dick bag. And there you have it, folks. A wild collection of NSFW stories that unfolded within the walls of the workplace. Thanks for joining us today on this eye-opening journey into the realm of the not safe for work anecdotes. If you have your own crazy story to share, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, stay professional, and stay tuned for more intriguing content. This is Chino signing off.